the threat of nuclear war, which is in fact increasing. And if you look at the record, it's a miracle that we've survived. I mean, there's a reason why in international polls run by US polling agencies, the main ones, the United States is regarded as the greatest threat to world peace by an overwhelming margin. No other country's even close. Incidentally, it's kind of interesting that the US media refused to publish this. That's one of the reasons why the famous doomsday clock of the Bulletin of American Scientists has just a couple of weeks ago been pushed 2 minutes closer to midnight. Midnight is the end. It's now 3 minutes from midnight. That's the closest it's been in 30 years, since the early Reagan years when there was a major war scare.
You describe the US as the leading terrorist state.
Remember, the worst terrorist campaign in the world right now, by far, is the one that's being orchestrated in Washington. That's the global assassination campaign. There's never been a terrorist campaign at that scale.
When you say global assassination campaign?
The drone campaign. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is. Over large parts of the world, the United States is systematically, publicly, openly, I'm just, nothing secret about what I'm saying. We all know it. It's carrying out regular campaigns to assassinate people who the US government suspects of intending to harm us someday.
Where does Vladimir Putin fit into this picture? He's painted as, well, one of the greatest global threats to security. Is he?
Like most leaders, he's a threat to his own population. He's taken illegal actions, obviously, but to depict him as a crazed monster who's suffering from brain disease and has Alzheimer and is, rat-faced evil creature, that's standard Orwellian fanaticism. I mean, whatever you think about his policies, they're understandable. The idea that Ukraine might join a Western military alliance would be quite unacceptable to any Russian leader. This goes back to 1990, when the Soviet Union collapsed. There was a question as to what would happen with NATO. Gorbachev agreed to allow Germany to be unified and to join NATO. It's a pretty remarkable concession, with a quid pro quo that NATO would not expand 1 inch to the east. That was the phrase that was used.
So Russia has been provoked?
Well, what happened? NATO instantly moved to East Germany. Then Clinton came along, expanded NATO right to the borders of Russia. Now there are the new Ukrainian government, the government after the overthrow of the preceding one, the parliament voted, I think 300 to 8 or something like that, to move to join NATO.
Which you can understand why they would want to join NATO. You can see why Petro Poroshenko's government would probably see that it's protecting his country.
No, it's not protect. Crimea was taken away after the overthrow of the government, right? He's not protecting Ukraine, is threatening Ukraine with major war. That's not protection. The point is, this is a serious strategic threat to Russia, which any Russian leader would have to react to. That's well understood.